Welcome to the GMBN Tech Show. This week, we've got computers,
integration,
and, funnily enough, some bikes. Let's get to it. Rich.
How are we doing, buddy?
Good. It's been a while since you've...
It has.
Well, since we've been on here.
It's certainly, I haven't done a tech for a while, so it's
man.
nice to come back on.
Welcome to this side of the room.
It's a bit odd, but thank you very much.
Cool. So, Swatch Nines was on over the weekend.
Yeah.
An event with sort of varying disciplines in it, but the sort of range of bikes that was there was just insane.
Yeah, that's it. We were looking through, weren't we? And I was like, dude, have you like, this is a big freeride event, and there was everything from like downhill bikes, enduro bikes, hardtail kind of jump bikes, which, you know, makes sense. But then there was some curveballs. There was Kevin Perazza on a free coaster, brakeless, left-hand drive BMX. That's a mouthful. And then the wildest one was the city bike.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Which was just insane. But it kind of, we were chatting away in the office going like, the range of kind of bikes and therefore the range of tech at this one event was just a bit mind-boggling.
Yeah. So from a bike that's literally a frame, wheels, chain, to a full Gamex build with pinion gearboxes and
belt driven, upside down fork.
Exactly.
Like,
it's nuts.
The works.
Yeah.
All at the same thing. And then a city bike. So for those who might not know what a city bike is, it's essentially, have you ever seen those rentals in big cities where you can just go on an app, book the bike, it unlocks, and you just cruise around on the... Sometimes they're electric, sometimes this one was not. No. And I mean, admittedly, oh gosh, I've forgotten his name. Where are we? I do apologise. I'll have to check back in.
Yeah.
But it was slightly modified, but essentially the frame, the chassis was the same. He put a fork on it, some different bars and wheels, but he went huge on it.
So this got us thinking, is it the rider, not the bike?
Good question, because these are obviously all very capable riders, all extremely good. So can turn their hand to any bike, as we've seen from the event. But does the level of tech involved in these bikes mean that they can now do that? That's what I'm thinking. So that's, from that tech aspect, bikes have evolved massively. Even city bikes and BMXs and jump bikes and enduro bikes, like, would an enduro bike that I'd have ridden 10, 15 years ago maybe be able to do this? Or are modern day enduro bikes
the one? Yeah. That's
now,
a very good
like,
point.
now capable of that. Same with downhill bikes. Like, no one really, like, freeride was done on downhill. Because they were just burly, heavy, bulky things. But now they're being done at these kind of events where there's quite trick related because they've become lighter. Different wheel sizes, suspension setup. Same with jump bikes. Holy moly, jump bikes must be so strong to take the hits that they do.
I say, even going back to that city bike, that's obviously going to be engineered to work on a city street.
Yeah, like the geometry and stuff.
But obviously it's built tough enough to be doing backflips and gaps and things like that. So,
which I'm sure the designers weren't thinking of at the time, but I guess they're thinking of a city bike in terms of durability. So that sort of crossed over. And I must say, it was Jarome Peel, I apologise for not shouting you out earlier, who was absolutely sending it on that thing. And then I suppose if we move forwards, thinking it more, we'll keep it in GMBN house. I was just chatting on Dirtshed Show. James, our XC guy on GMBN, has been sending it down Leger World Cup downhill track.
Yeah, that's pretty mad.
On a Canyon Lux, which is their 100mm full-blown World Cup XC bike, as ridden by Jenny Rizvets and Van der Poel and so on and so forth. Would a World Cup XC bike have been able to do a World Cup downhill track 5 years ago? Yes, probably. 10 years ago? I don't think it could have.
Pushing it.
15 years ago, I'd say almost definitely not. So I think that is, you know, James is a very good rider, but again, the tech that's evolved on these bikes, I just feel is enabled that to be able to be done.
Yeah, 100%. So obviously XC bikes have got bigger. I think it was mentioned before. I think material science as well. So if you look at a carbon bike now versus a carbon bike, 10, 15 years ago, stronger, lighter, more compliant.
So we're talking about the layup of type of carbon used.
Exactly.
Where it's made thicker in areas that it isn't.
Yep.
Longer, lower, slacker, like you said. Do we also think, I suppose, suspension's way better, brakes and the inclusion of the dropper post.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, is what I think has really opened these bikes up to being able to do what they can now do. But, I mean, it does beg the question, is it the bike or is it the rider?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments down below. Bike or rider, or both.
And we're on to the news. So we're going to start with some Garmin news, because rather excitingly, there are some new head units.
Yeah, there are, aren't there? Go on, what have we got?
So we have got the 550 and the 850. So the 5 Series is the buttoned option, and then you've got the 8 Series, which is touchscreen. Both of these now, they've got a bigger, brighter, 2.7-inch display, so it's even better for reading maps and your data, which is really cool. It's also got 5 gigahertz recording. So we first saw it on the MTB head unit.
We did, yeah, and I've used it on that. It's really accurate, yeah.
Mega. So it's really good for like tracking line choice downhill, and you've got also the timing gate feature now as well.
Yeah.
So you can see if you're up or down on split times.
And that's with the new sort of enduro and downhill presets on there, right?
Yeah, so with the off-road presets on that. As well as this, the sort of training systems on it are even more sort of tailored to you. So if you were to combine this, say, with a power meter and a heart rate monitor, it'll work out what condition you're in and then give you sort of a more up-to-date, accurate sort of fueling and sort of nutrition strategy per that, and maybe, I think, even tailor the workout a little bit more.
That's clever stuff, isn't it?
Basically, it's just an optimised system for optimising you.
Well, talk about optimising you. If you want to go a step further, they also have the XC Rally pedals. There's a 110 and a 210 version, either single-sided or double-sided power meter pedals, which have been updated over their old versions. Now, these are more accurate, up to 1% accuracy on them. There's a more solid all-metal construction, so obviously off-roading means they're a little bit safer to taking hits off those rock strikes and God knows what else. And a big one for me actually is now they are a built-in rechargeable battery as opposed to the replaceable battery that they had before, which gives up to about 90 hours runtime, I do believe. Prices for those are on screen now. There is as well a Garmin Fenix 8 Pro and Fenix 8 Pro micro LED watch out as well, kind of the updated version of their current Fenix range. Now these new Pro models, they have brighter screens and longer battery life, but also crucially, if you're a bit of an adventurer like myself, they've got their in-reach capabilities. Now, using LTE satellite systems, it means that they can essentially send calls, messaging, and your location as you go without needing to take your phone with you. Now, for me, I like to get a bit of a big adventure on. You don't want to carry a phone, so yes, the price obviously reflects this, but sort of the safety aspects that this now can provide, I do think is very good if you're a very adventurous rider.
Yeah, that's really cool. Right, something cool from Orbea now.
All right.
So they are announcing their next step in the RS system, so basically enhancing the connection between rider and bike. Oof. So RS stands for Rider Synergy. It's all about integrating controls and features of their bikes to make them sort of a more streamlined riding experience.
Okay.
It's really cool. So this step involves a package of combining like an eBike control interface, ride information, and a new smart dropper post. Which is smart dropper post.
Pretty clever.
That's quite cool. That's so cool.
What's a smart dropper post?
Well, hang on, my friend, because we'll get onto that.
Okay.
Cool new thing about this is it all works off the bike's battery. So we are talking e-bikes here.
Yes.
But this new RS HMI, so the human machine interface, quite cool. So you've got larger textured control buttons, sort of giving you easy access without having to sort of look at what you're doing.
Yeah.
What this does, it allows you to change between RS and RS Plus. So you've got these new sort of, dare I say, sort of modes on the bike and a super boost setting.
Oh, please.
Super boost, I like it.
I like the idea of that.
Cool. So that essentially just selects a max assistance for a predetermined amount of time.
Okay.
Again, really
And that's
cool.
when you change on an app, I'm assuming?
Yep, so all pre-programmable, but super simple. Smart dropper control as well. So it replaces like a mechanical lever or a third-party lever.
Okay.
So everything's integrated into one little cluster on the bar.
Right.
Which is really cool. As part of this as well, you can pre-program it into like a ready-to-drop mode.
What?
So it will pre-drop, you can essentially determine how far the seat is going to drop down, like say part way. But what it does mean is when you're approaching a technical part of trail, you can just sort of like squat it a little bit. So if you are going to pedal up it,
no way,
you're in that sort of prime position for traction and getting low on the bike, which is dead cool.
Yeah.
So as part of that display, it's got 6 LEDs which show charge level in 10% increments from 100% to 20%. and then 5% increments from 20% and down, as well as showing the assist level, smart function status without being distracting. So no massive screen anywhere. The dropper post itself says it's got low stack height, as you'd expect from most modern droppers, adjustable travel, and that pre-programmable height drop. And then it's lighter, comparable to long droppers as well, but has more functionality. So win-win. If you're wondering where you can get hold of this new tech, stay tuned because we've actually got a really exciting feature next week. Right, now on to something a little bit simpler, but can and maybe will improve your ride even more on your bike. So, I've spoken about chain dampers and sort of pedal kickback negating devices previously, but DT Swiss are getting in on the action now as well.
The big guns are in.
Yes, so DT Swiss are launching their Degrees of Freedom anti-pedal kickback system. A lot of words there, exactly.
Yeah, rolls off the tongue.
So this new system is available on the DEG and DEG hybrid hubs, so the new sort of larger ones there, and essentially it allows for either 10 or 20 degrees of, and we call it float.
Yes.
On the DEG
essentially
hub.
How much it moves, right?
Yeah, and then 10 degrees on the DEG hybrid, so the eBike hub with that. What essentially it does with the DT system, you've got the drive ring inside the hub that's threaded in. So you unthread that, thread this new one in, and it's keyed in a way where you can move the inner sort of ratchet plate into either the 10 degree or the 20 degree position.
Oh, so you can retrofit this device onto...
To the newer, like I say, the newer hubs. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. I like that.
It is really cool. So you can set it to fixed at 0 degrees, so they say it's for sort of 4XC.
Yeah.
At which point, just run the normal hub.
Yeah, pretty much.
10 degree is your sort of all mountain duties, and then 20 degrees for downhill and enduro.
Yeah.
So the regular DEG hub gets the 90 tooth ratchet system, which when it does engage, it's still got 4 degrees of engagement angle. And then the DEG hybrid uses the 60 tooth ratchet system with 6 degrees of engagement on that. And then if we're talking prices, so the DEG DF, both of them actually, kits are €129.90 or $176.20.
All right, I like it. We're going to simplify things even more.
Yep.
Because Reverse Components, I should say, not backwards, they've got a new chain tensioner, a collab, don't they? Now, this is obviously converts your bike essentially to a single speed with a device that looks very similar to a rear mech. It just doesn't change gear. It's just essentially a couple of cogs and a spring to keep your chain tight, right?
Yeah, it's quite a clever spring to keep you...
Oh, so not that simple.
Not that simple. So it's got a fully adjustable clutch and it's sealed, so there's no need to service it, which is really cool. It's got 19mm of chain line adjustment to get it absolutely bang on. Chain calibration feature for getting the length right on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it's got a limit stopper as well to keep the mech in position when you do like land hard or do it.
Oh, I see.
Like, big hit.
So it doesn't like wrap back or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
As a thing to look at, it's really nice. So the body's machined from 70-75 aluminium with aluminium jockey wheels.
Yeah.
With some like nice laser etched details on it and stainless hardware just to be like super durable. So basically, it's just like a bomb-proof thing to put on your bike to stop the chain coming off.
The ultimate park bike kind of accessory.
Exactly. Yours for just shy of €300 or $380.
All right. And that's the news this week?
That is the news this week.
Wow.
Quiz time. Right. So last week, Owen left us with the question, Exposure started as a sub-brand for another brand, so the parent company.
Okay.
We just wanted to know when Exposure started, what was the name of that parent company?
Well, the answer, USE. Yes, they are still going, but are now a smaller brand compared to Exposure's big lights. And the winners, well done, you are on screen now.
Cool, so with this week's question, we're going to keep things Orbea.
Okay.
So, quite simply, we'd like to know what was the name of Orbea's first mountain bike and when was it released?
Not a clue. Not a clue. That is a good question.
Well, you should tune in next week to have the answer.
All right, will do.
Right, now it's time for cool stuff we've seen this week. So what cool stuff have we seen this week, Rich?
Young gun, Matthew Fairbrother, going from the sky to the sea. Basically, he summited and starting from the Aiguille de la Grande Sassière, a massive big mountain, 3750 metres in the French Alps. And he's going all the way down to sea level, right?
That sounds
He's
like a
basically
good
going
ride.
down to Finale Ligure in Italy, Silo. It's a heck of a way to go.
Yeah.
But it does look absolutely incredible. And big adventures, big rides, pushing yourself to the limits. I got a lot of time for that, so I really like that one.
That's cool. We mentioned them earlier with the city bike, but the city bike boys, I just wanted to highlight this just because
they're mad.
It's just fun. It's like, I understand they are pushing the limits of a rental bike, so we wouldn't maybe recommend going out.
No, please don't try it. I suppose
it's just cool.
Yeah, it's nice just to see sort of boundaries getting broken and maybe the odd bike too.
Yeah.
And next one is this prototype Sage Titanium. Full sus. I mean, the craftsmanship is stunning.
So you've got 3D printed titanium lugs on it, which is cool. I know this is a prototype bike, so this might not make it to a final production, but I think we just got it up there.
Yeah.
The reverse rear brake mount.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, properly integrated on it. It does sort of limit your caliper and rotor choice a little bit.
But this looks quite short travel to me.
Yeah,
it looks like a 120-ish, 130 maybe.
Yeah.
Sage Titanium, delivering the goods.
Nice.
Yeah, there's some good things this week, aren't they? I like that. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Now it's time for Ask GMBN Tech. Remember, if you've got any questions, use the hashtag AskGMBNTech in the comments down below, and my good man Adam or Owen will be on hand to answer your every question. But this week from KMWS says, hey guys, I got my first real 1x system, SRAM 1x12 NX Eagle, and the fastest gear, or smallest sprocket, is worn out before I have to change the second chain. Is that normal? I'm taking good care of the bike. For my older bikes, I used to be able to run at least 2 chains before the cassette needs to be replaced. What's going on?
It'd be good to know what chainring size you're running.
Okay.
To start with, because if you're finding you're spending a lot of time in that 11-tooth sprocket and not using the rest of your cassette, then that's wasted potential and therefore wasted material as well. So if you are spending a lot of time in that sprocket, one thing to consider, chain wrap. There's that. Likelihood is you'll only be engaging sort of 3, maybe 4 teeth on that sprocket.
So putting a lot more stress on them, essentially.
Exactly. So my thinking of maybe putting a larger chain, I think we mentioned this in last week's question, was it's going to make you use the easier...
Like the middle of the block more, hopefully.
Yeah. Sort of spreading that load over more teeth.
Yeah.
So wear slower, and then you make more of that cassette, instead of having to replace that 11-tooth maybe a little bit prematurely.
Yeah.
As well as that, you get less chain wrap. So what I mean by that is just how tight that chain is going around your cassette, pulley wheels, chainring, etc. So if it is really tight, it is less efficient. And then as well as that, if you are sat in the middle of the cassette more, your chain line's going to be better as well.
Yeah, so roughly, like as a guidance then, I've got some numbers in my head, but what would you sort of recommend in terms of front sprocket size, rear cassette size?
So it does depend on your wheel size as well.
Got a rough ballpark. Give him a figure.
Let's just say on a 29er.
Yeah.
So that cassette will be an 1150.
50? Yeah.
I'd maybe go with a 34 tooth.
I was going to say a 32. Certainly no smaller.
Yeah.
Depending, obviously, your type of ride. But I think that then hopefully should allow you to use the full range.
Yeah, and you get that nice final drive gear. Well, you probably won't be needing that 11 tooth as much.
You'll be cranking it.
Yeah, cranking.
Nice, good question. Keep them coming in.
Yeah. Cool, now it's time for your comments from last week's show. We love reading them, so get them all down below and give the video a like and subscribe if you want to see more things like this. So, from Philly Prumel, I butchered that. Have you ever been tempted by the cult of one gear? He's just doing maintenance on a single speed trials bike. If that counts, so I have a fixie, and that's hardly MTB. But I do ride off-road sometimes. Not ideal on 25mm tyres, but I haven't punctured yet.
Yeah, the only single speed I will ever run is my jump bike.
Yeah, I mean, I have dabbled in
fair play
fixies, and that, to be fair, that's what started me on the journey here.
Oh, no way?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Well, Eric, G9D, leaps and bounds in mountain bike tech and innovations are now in the micro and refinement stage of evolution. Battery tech for e-bikes will be the next big thing. I I actually probably couldn't agree more with that. I think he's absolutely bang on. Yeah. It's very hard to make much bigger jumps at the moment because everything's working so well. So I think gearboxes and, like you said, e-bike tech are where bigger jumps are happening.
Yeah. From Dave Gungan, the best bike is the bike you're riding now. Well done, Owen. Yes. I would agree with that. The cycle was invented as a cheap form of transport, he assumes. Yet we're seeing individual items like wheels or chain sets costing more than a second-hand car. Feels like us normal, not lottery-winning riders are now left out of all the new advances.
Yeah, I certainly see where he's coming from. I guess trickle-down technology does happen. I mean, this is going to be a ridiculous example, but XTR Di2's come out. You now see that trickle down to XT and Dior. That does also come in terms of their mechanical group sets in Shimano's case and SRAM actually as well. But I think we see that in frames, carbon frames and the aluminium versions being identical bar material, suspension, trickle-down technology in terms of dampers. So it is there, but I certainly get it. It is a lot of the time, and we may have our part to play sometimes, we see the shinier side of parts of mountain biking.
I think you touched on it, but even below the electronic stuff, we're seeing more one-by drivetrains on attainably priced bikes, which I think is the way to go.
Yeah.
Easier, just better.
But good comment. I like that one. That's a good one. And then finally, Sean Kane. I like a lighter weight bike, so for me, I'm less interested in gearbox and belt drive that are heavier, also slightly less efficient on anything at the trail bike XC end of the spectrum. On an e-bike, much more sense. What really bothers me is that I can fix a chain enough to get me home, but carrying a spare belt plus the tools to fit and correctly tension it on the trail are just not practical. Totally. I mean, that is where we've just mentioned this development is currently taking place, isn't it? Development in terms of the belts themselves, the tensioners, how they work, the system as a whole. But yeah, I don't think we'll see them on XC bikes anytime soon.
No, maybe not. Interesting.
Well, thank you very much for some great comments.
Yeah. Like we're saying, pop them down below if you have got any, and we'll maybe read yours out next week. But in the coming week, what have we got coming up?
Well, James is heading to Lenzerheide for the World Cup cross country to check out all the latest and greatest in the hottest tech. And, well, these races never fail to disappoint. No. I believe that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for having me on, Adamski. It's been an absolute pleasure to do a bit of tech now and again. Sit over here. Well, until next time, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.